How you doing? Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
Let me just ask you one thing. I don't know if this is a misprint or if this is intentional. Inglourious. Now, is that a British spelling? O-U-R-I-O-U-S?
No, that's a Quentin Tarantino spelling.
All right. And Basterds, B-A-S-T-E-R-D-S. I always thought it was A-R-D-S.
Normally in Webster's, I believe it is the A. All right, I threw the E in there. Yeah. It's kind of a, for lack of a better expression, it's a Basquiat-like touch.
I don't know what that means.
It's the only thing I can say about it.
The movie opens on Friday, and in all honesty, we're happy you're here. We would rather have had Brad Pitt, but.
But you took what you can get.
Yeah. Now tell me about. And I was reading, and it took you 10 years to write this movie.
Yeah.
And at some point, in your head, you thought this is a part for Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Now that's great, and it worked out. But what if you then don't get Brad Pitt for that part?
God, well, thankfully, I never really had to super contemplate that. I mean, normally it's a situation where I have somebody in mind, and then I always have like a second or a third choice. But it's usually not like, you know, the next person on the list. It's usually somebody way over here. So I'm either making one movie or I'm making a whole other movie. Yeah. And I can actually start falling in love with that second choice even more than the first choice. But in this case, because I actually just thought he would just be so perfect for the character that I wrote, I didn't have a second or a third choice because anything else would have just not been the character.
Right. And he plays a guy from, I think, Arkansas, Mississippi, or somewhere in Tennessee.
Mountains of Tennessee.
Yeah, and he has a bit of an, not a bit of an accent, he's got a complete southern accent.
He's got full-on hillbilly poetry going on.
Yeah. Was the film actually shot in Germany?
Yeah, we shot most of it. We shot a little bit in Paris, but most of it we shot in Germany. And we even shot it on the old UFA Studios, which was the old German studios that all the great German movies from the 20s, as well as the movies that Joseph Goebbels made during the Nazi era. That was the same studio that we shot at.
Wow. So I mean, that must there must be a great sense of that while you're there, right?
There really is. Like, for instance, one of our big sound stages, you saw the film, were the theater, the inside of the theater. Those were the sound stages that Marlene Dietrich did Blue Angel in, where she sat on that little barrel and sang Falling in Love Again. Yeah. That was the same stages.
And did it take a long time to make this film?
You know, not that long, actually. I mean, I wanted to make the Cannes Film Festival. So for a movie this size and, you know, this kind of canvas, it was actually pretty short. It was only about like just a few months. And so it was kind of nice to do it that way. Because usually, like in a situation where directors, or in my situation, you don't make things less comfortable for yourself. You make things more comfortable. But there can be a problem with that. Fat can kind of marble in this situation. And I didn't want that to happen. And when I did Reservoir Dogs, so we had 5 weeks. Not 6 weeks, not 5.5 weeks. We had 5 weeks.
And when you're working with a guy like Brad Pitt, getting back to him, there's got to be some...
Enough of your working method.
There's got to be some incumbent pressure with having a star of his magnitude under your control there, right?
No. Actually, he's a blast. I mean, there's that old adage that you say you treat actors like stars and you treat stars like actors, and it actually works out really good that way. You know, but one of the things that was actually that's kind of funny is we try to usually discourage sleeping on the set. All right? It can happen from time to time.
We do that in our audience, but it never works. People are... That's why they're requesting lattes. They're just dozing off left and right.
They're drinking coffee beverages,
right.
That you hand deliver.
Who can blame them?
But actually, because Brad has a big family at home, sleeping on the set is the only time he gets to sleep.
He has is it 6 children he has?
Something like 6, yeah, exactly.
Wow. You know, I don't fancy myself a student of film, but as I watched this, I thought there are allusions to other films and some historical references as well. Yeah. And in some of the music, I thought it reminded me of a Sergio Leone movie.
Well, he's my favorite director. Yeah.
And then also some of it sounded like the music from The Third Man a little bit. Would I be off base thinking that?
No, you wouldn't be. I mean, I don't actually have the music from The Third Man, but I do know what you mean.
Right.
There is some
the mandolin.
Yeah, there are moments that bring that to mind. Yeah. But definitely in the case case of like, I used a lot of Ennio Morricone, which is the music that Sergio Leone used in the spaghetti westerns. Yeah. And that's kind of how I saw the film a little bit. It was almost like a spaghetti western, but with, instead of cowboy iconography, World War II iconography.
Right. And is, how much of this is factual?
Well, it's funny. Well, it's all completely imagination, all right, from my point of view. I didn't base it on a true story. But there's all these little things that happen in the movie that are like shadow versions of what happened in real life. Right. Like, for instance, in the movie, one of the big mission ends up being at a big movie premiere for a Nazi propaganda film, and the idea is the Basterds are going to blow up the premiere and kill all the Nazis. And the thing is, in the movie, Goebbels does this one big, giant epic that's going to be this last-ditch effort for the Nazi high command. Now, the thing is, in the movie, it's this movie called Stolz der Nation, but obviously, he didn't do that movie, but in real life, he did another movie like that, where they knew that Germany wasn't winning any more battles anymore on the battlefield, but they could win a propaganda battle with a movie.
You know what was the guy who plays the antagonist, the mean?
Oh, Colonel Landa?
Yeah. He's tremendous. Yeah, I know. And there's some great scenes with him when he's at his evilest. Yeah. And there's some great scenes at him when he's being pandering and sloppy nice too. Yeah, right. Just, and the evil just kind of bleeds out of the guy.
Well, to me, he's, you know, one of the things about Colonel Landa, he's played by an actor named Christoph Waltz, is he's a detective. That's his thing. That's his job for the Nazis, is to be a detective. And he's a great detective. Right, right. And one of the things about the movie, especially when you see it a second time, because the first time you're just being yanked around with the story, but when you see it a second time, you actually really get to see his interrogation techniques played out now that you know where he was coming from. Right.
And when you say second time, what you're saying is, if you buy one ticket, he will guarantee you 2 trips to the theater.
You know, I'm good that way. I mean, in the course of your lifetime, maybe you'll see it a second time.
It opens on Friday, and we have a clip here, Quentin. Tell us what we're going to see.
Yeah, this is actually the scene where Brad Pitt, as Lieutenant Aldo Raine, is basically recruiting the Basterds and telling them what their job will be once they're in Nazi-occupied.
Yeah, okay, take a look. We're talking about here.
And in the movie, the next cut is Hitler going, 99999.
Right. And it's a group of people who are avenging the deaths of their fellow troops, their fellow Jews.
Well, yeah, part of the thing about it is I like working in genre, but I also like working in subgenre, which is the genres inside a genre. So I like war films, but the ones that I like the most are the bunch of guys on a mission war movies, like The Devil's Brigade and The Dirty Dozen. They haven't been made in a long time, so I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring and try one.
And some tremendous scenes with a guy with a baseball bat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
the Bear Jew. He's known amongst the Germans as the Bear Jew.
It's Inglourious Basterds opens on Friday. Here's the man responsible, Quentin Tarantino. Good to see you again.
Hey, good to be back.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with Chef Eric Ripert.